So, as we're all aware, Mark Guehi unfortunately picked up a yellow card last game against Slovakia, which does mean he will be serving a suspension, meaning he cannot play in the quarterfinals against Switzerland. Now, luckily, we have a plethora of centre-halves that we can choose from, but we are going to need one to come in and replace Guehi, who realistically has probably been our player of the tournament so far, which has kind of said a lot about the team. So yeah, we're going to go through, pick who we think we should have in, and who is most likely to come into the team. So let's just quickly have a look at who we actually do have in the squad. So obviously from the defensive point of view, and not all of these are centre-backs, we obviously have Kyle Walker, Luke Shaw, who's been injured the whole fucking time and it's just pointless being there. John Stones, again, played all the matches, hasn't he? Been solid enough. Guehi, who has also been solid but is unfortunately suspended. Trent, not going to play, they're going to be a right back, isn't he, if he plays along that defensive line. Trippier, again, makeshift left back, kind of been shit, but you know, is what it is. And then we've got Konza, Dunk, and my favourite, Joe Gomez. So let's look at this first from a perspective as to who could physically plug that gap at centre-half, right? I think there's, from the actual like-for-like swaps, I think there's two main options. I think it is Joe Gomez, or sorry, three options. Joe Gomez, Lewis Dunk, Ezri Konsa. Now, two of those can play all across that back four, right? In Joe Gomez and Ezri Konsa. So if you want just a fully centre-half straight like-for-like swap, I think you're looking at Lewis Dunk, potentially. Now, that genuinely does worry me. I think Dunk is a very solid defender. I think he's almost like a, I guess like a shitter John Terry or even like Gary Cahill. Gary Cahill's a great comparison. He's slow, he's a decent defender, good head on him, you know what he's going to do. He's not going to do any fancy, he's going to do the basics well, and honestly that's not the worst thing in the world, but he's so slow. And watching Brielle Mbolo potentially run at him on Saturday worries the shit out of me. And that's why I don't necessarily think that's the best option. Again, you've got Gomez and Konza, who realistically are a very similar sort of build and sort of play to a Guehi. They're just potentially not as good, not as solid. Every time I've seen Konza play, I have been impressed. I've seen him play a lot sort of at fullback for Villa over the last season. And he did look really, really good. And he was actually quite a handy player in my fantasy football team. But I think he would fit in very well there. I think he could actually play the role just exceptionally. He came on last game, didn't he? I think he did drop in at right fullback. Got some minutes under his belt. So I think he's above in the pecking order than the other potential candidate, which is Joe Gomez. Now, obviously I have a bit of a soft spot for Gomez, as I would do. I think he should feel a bit hard done by not getting any minutes so far this tournament. Bearing in mind we've got Trippier playing left back and he's been bollocks, and we even put Saka there and Eze last game because it all went a little bit out the window, didn't it? So yeah, I think he should feel a bit hard done by to not get any minutes so far in the tournament. Does that mean I think he should drop straight in at centre back in a quarter-final? No, to be honest, I don't. I don't think that's the best option moving forward. He's a solid enough defender. He has got a ricket in him. Believe me, I've seen enough of it. I know Joe Gomez can have a howler. I personally find, and maybe this is just me, I don't know if there's any big Liverpool fans out there, when Joe Gomez makes a mistake at centre-back, it is way more detrimental and he struggles really hard sort of to recover from it compared to when he makes a mistake at fullback. Feels like when he makes a mistake at fullback, it's not going to be as catastrophic, right? And he can sort of play through it and get better and just continue to perform. At centre-half, again, obviously you're at a more risky position, so if you make a mistake, more likely to be a goal there. But that absolutely shatters him. And I fear that, again, with somebody like Mbolo running at him, who does look solid, it could all go a bit wrong for Gomez. So I don't necessarily think that would be the best play, and I also don't think it's the play that Southgate's going to do anyway. So getting into the crux of it, what is Southgate going to do? Now, I think that the most likely, it might, well, I don't know if it is the most likely, but I think it's the one that I want to see the most, and maybe that's clouded my judgment on it a little bit. So again, let me know in the comments whether you think this is insane or whether you think this is like actually potential. I think he moves Walker to centre-back, and then I think he drops Alexander-Arnold in at right-back. Now, there's two main reasons for this. A, Walker has played centre-back before for England. He's done it, he's tested there, it works. He's also done it for City, I believe. I think it might have been as part of a back three back in like the 2018 World Cup when he done it then. Or was it the Euros then? Whatever. That tournament. No, it would have been the World Cup. Yeah. He went in at that stage, I'm sure, and he would have clearly performed. He's got the height, he's 6 foot Walker, bags of pace, definitely going to keep up with Briel and Bolo, and can cover that lack of pace that we're going to lose in Guehi, because Guehi's also quick. And then on the follow-up of that, you have Arnold in at right back, right? So you've got that creativity which England sorely lacked last game. The fact that England is still in this tournament is ridiculous. We are truly there because of a moment of brilliance from Bellingham. That has saved the entire nation's hopes of potentially seeing silverware. And that creativity was just not there last game whatsoever. I mean, he wasn't on the pitch, was he? So, and genuinely, the fact that he wasn't is obscene. But I do think that this gives you an opportunity to bring him in, and you've still got that defensive solidity that Walker gives you. It's just more central as opposed to out at that right fullback slot. Will Southgate do that? I think it's a 50-50. I really do. I think whether he'll bow and duck into the pressure of not playing Trent, because he kind of did it before when he put him in midfield, and he did play him and then he sacrificed him. So whether he'll put him back to Trent's actual position, which is fullback. Trent is a right back. That is just the way it is. He's not a midfielder, at least not by trade anyway. Will he drop him into that position where he historically hates him? I don't know, but I would like to think that he would do, just for the sake of getting your best players on the pitch, for one. And I would like to think that that defensive partnership, that Man City partnership there, is solid enough, especially with Rice protecting it as well. You can have Rice dropping into the pockets and covering the fullbacks if need be. If he wants the fullbacks to go forward, that is something that can happen. So the only other one that I can think he was possibly more likely to do is just that straight up Lewis Dunk / Ezri Konsa swap, just at centre back, and then you put Walker in at full back still, and then he'll keep it all the same across the rest of the team. I think that's the more boring option. We know how Southgate operates. We know he likes pragmatic, safe football where he's not going to risk potentially giving it away. I think that would be a real shame, particularly as I think the Swiss are really going to try to create and go at us, and I think that will leave gaps. The Swiss play a back, I don't know why I'm holding up 4 fingers, the Swiss play a back 3, right? They play Shah, they play Akanji, and they play Rodriguez, and all 3 of them have looked immense this tournament, but that does mean that there is space with those wing-backs that bomb forward. Now, obviously you're going to want to defend that quite rigidly, and with a back 4, that could potentially come under pressure from that extra width there, but at the same time, that's going to leave space in the back there. And who would you want at right fullback pinging balls to the left winger, who realistically I hope isn't Foden, because Foden's played like absolute shit the last 4 games. I hope it's Gordon. And I don't know, maybe I'm dreaming, but I can visualise that long ball to a Gordon or to a Foden or to whoever's on that left wing. And it's not going to come from having Kyle Walker there, but it would come from having Trent there. And I think that is something that could unlock a lot of potential attacking threat down that left-hand side. And I fear that with the Swiss, I can genuinely see this, I can see the Swiss beating us. I can definitely see them scoring, just because I don't feel we are particularly solid, even though that has arguably been our best thing, just because our attack's been so shit. But I really think it's going to be a game where we're going to need to score 2 to win, minimum. So the best way of doing that is having your most creative players on the pitch, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think will actually play centre-back with Mark Guehi being absent? I'm hoping it's going to be Walker. Let me know what you guys think down below. And if you are enjoying these videos, please do consider subscribing. I think we're really close to 450 subs. So if we can hit that by the final, that would be insane. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.